Welcome to a brand new episode, a brand new show. It's not an NFL show anymore, it's an any sports show, as you can see from the jerseys behind myself and Jamie. I do have a statement to read out on behalf of the Third and Short podcast to start the show. The Third and Short podcast are aware of an incident involving Thomas Higgins that occurred this week, and we are devastated by the news, and our thoughts and prayers go out to anyone affected. We're in the process of gathering information, and we will have no further comment at this time. So what we thought we'd do is bring you a brand new show. We don't even know what NFL is anymore. We've gone full of the sports. I've got some football there, basketball, a bit of rugby, even a bit of baseball there. Look at that. I've got my Rockets top on. I've even got my Blackpool scarf. What is NFL? Who knows? Who cares? But we're not here to talk about that this week. Because I don't know why Tom's there. I thought we'd sacked him.
Is that your shitty announcement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to build a bit of tension, you know. I don't even know what NFL is. I've not even got any hats, Raiders hats or anything. So yeah, football.
A bit fishy that now you had shirts hung up and you're both like, we'll sort that out in between. Like,
when he accidentally pressed the button before, and I thought he'd done the intro to go live, I was like, oh. But yeah. So welcome. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been on. Quite a lot has happened in terms of the NFL, in terms of the Raiders, and in terms of just general results, I think, from this weekend. And we'll go on to what we've got to talk about in just a short while. But as always, joined by the co-host formerly known as Tom Higgins, who I just sacked a minute ago. I was going to read out an announcement, but I couldn't write. I couldn't find a marker pen to write "fuck the NFL" on there. So I did just stole the Raiders one about Ruggs, which I'm sure we'll speak about. And also joined by our producer, Jamie Crawford, who has just informed us that somebody has moved our logo from that top corner. Well, it was that top corner now to that top corner. And so whoever it was, Bones, Tyron, I don't know, who knows. But yeah, thanks for joining us, guys. We are, as always, on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Third Short Pod, and you can get us on YouTube. Thanks, Third and Short UK podcast, is it? Something like that. Or Third and Short, as people like to call it. So where do we begin? It's been a few weeks since we've been on. A lot has happened in the NFL. A lot has happened in terms of the Raiders as well, which is why I've burnt all my jerseys. Ironically, I was just about to order a Henry Ruggs jersey, and then what happened. So if I had done it, it'd have been just ridiculous. But thank fuck I didn't order a Damon Arnett one as well, because he's now gone. We'll go straight in with the Bucks. The Bucks play tonight.
No, we had a bye week, so it's great. We loved it. We don't need to talk about the week before, so yeah, let's carry on.
Well, I'm quite happy to talk about last week because we were on the bye week and we didn't lose. Giants were they played last night. They played last week, didn't they?
Yeah, we lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's right. But you spit that out then. Well, the Packers did last night, didn't they? The Packers without Aaron Rodgers, I suppose, is a different entity, isn't it? But
just the P, isn't it? The rest of the Yackers are gone.
Yeah. The Bears is gone. So that was my Nuke Meng. Nothing special. If anyone was watching, apologies for getting your hopes up. I had to do something, didn't I? Couldn't come on here and talk about how good the fucking Raiders are, because they're not. I think I texted JP yesterday afternoon, and I just said I'm fully expecting a defeat. I gave my reasons were that it's after the bye week, which the Raiders are notoriously bad after the bye week. It was also travelling to East Coast, which we're also not great at. And then there was the incident that had happened a week ago with Henry Ruggs killing somebody in a car crash, driving at 156 miles an hour, pissed. So I kind of had a feeling we'd lose, and it's one of them, isn't it? At least we didn't lose to a divisional rival, I suppose. That's the only saving grace I've got. And as I said last night, the other saving grace is we've made your draft pick a little bit worse. I was working last night. I'm lucky. that I was working, I suppose I had it on whilst I was out and about, and I was watching bits, and it was just shit, really poor. From a lot of Cars kind of put it on himself and said it was down to him, and I'm probably going to say it was. Most of it. He wasn't particularly good. He wasn't getting many people open, but he missed Aaron Waller which would have been a touchdown. He overthrew it. There's other bits and bobs, but Zay Jones is not Henry Ruggs. There's no two ways about that. But we have signed Deshaun Jackson, or about to sign Deshaun Jackson, who is a bit of a veteran, I suppose. He's had 3 or 4 seasons over 1,000 yards. Bit of a bad egg, but I suppose we've got plenty of the Raiders. He suits our model quite well. But yeah, I've got not a lot to say about our performance last night. I didn't really watch it, and I've obviously not watched the full highlights because I'd be wasting my time. I'd rather stick Pornhub on and have a good 3 or 4 minutes. So I mean, I'll hand over to you, Tom, to talk us through last night while I just slip my wrists.
You nailed it. You weren't good enough. Like, once again, the Giants, like, they hadn't done enough to win that game. Like, the defense won the game. It's simple as that. We scored 23 points in the end. 7 of them were a touchdown. 9 were field goals, and 1 was a pick six. And you had 2 chances to go and get a drive to tie the game, and McKinney got his second pick, and then right at the end, you were in the red zone, and Quincy Roche got a stripped fumble, and it was recovered. Our defense won us the game. I think you had 6 trips to the red zone and scored 1 touchdown. Carr was just bang average, and I think he was right to put him on himself, and it, you could see it in the game, like when he overthrew that ball to Waller, like he was like hands on his head, put his hand up to say, that's me. Like, he had an off game, like, and McKinney. Well, McKinney's got, I think already he's got 5 interceptions in 12 games. Bit of a ball hawk safety by the sounds of it. We've been playing him conservative up, and obviously we bring Logan Ryan down. A lot of the fans obviously saying now, we're seeing that we're giving him a bit of freedom to come and attack the ball. You're seeing what you get from it. That's his second. It's Roche, I believe, Ben. Yeah,
Roche.
It was that was his second 2 interception game this season. So it's just conservative coaching, not to lose, and hoping that your defense do something. And fortunately for us, this game they did. But it's not a sustainable way of getting a winning season. Like, we will always be perennial losers with that mindset. And fans sit there, and the ones trying to defend Judge, and the small amount trying to defend Gettleman, will saying that realistically we could be 6-3 rather than 3-6. We dropped an interception in the end zone against the Falcons, which would have wrapped the game up. It was a real drop. Anyone could have caught that. There was the field goal against Washington that we jumped off sides, which wasn't offsides, but again, we jumped off sides. That's 2 wins. And then we probably should have beat the Chiefs last week. The Chiefs couldn't have complained if we did, but we couldn't complain that we didn't, because, again, we played shy, conservative, punting on their 45, stuff like that, rather than going for it at 4-2. It's just a hard watch, and you've got to celebrate these wins, but you can't be like yes, we've got to win, brilliant, but you can't really enjoy it. Like, DJ had a 75% completion yesterday. Like, that's great. He threw 3 targets to wide receivers all game. 3 targets, 3 catches, 2 to Golladay, 1 to Tony. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you can't get Kadarius Toney the ball and Golladay the ball, why are you in charge of this offense? Like, what the fuck is going on? So we've got a bye week this week. Last bye week last year, one of our coaches got sacked. Praying it happens this year. It's Garrett. But yeah, we got the win, but it was gifted to us. Let's be honest. Defense won it, and that was through Carr just being average on the day, which he hasn't been all season really. I don't know if he's had any other bad games.
Not really. The Bears game was a bad overall performance, but the thing with Carr, because of his nature and the way he is, I think he cares too much about Ruggs and what he's going through, and I think that's probably on his mind, and that's probably why, well, part of the reason why he had an off game, and that's just the way Derek Carr is, because he's, I don't want to use the term God botherer, but because he is
an eyeline wearing God botherer.
Yeah, because he's very religious and he's all about loving people. I think he's still probably hurting from what's happened for Ruggs. Yeah, it's, perhaps you need somebody more ruthless at quarterback who would have just not give a shit. Perhaps you do, but the way Derek Carr's handled himself all week with the questions he's been thrown at him, it was very admirable. But doesn't win your games, does it? So.
No.
It's all well and good saying, and I'm a big Derek Carr fan as a quarterback and as a person, but it's all well and good in being such a very commendable person in front of the cameras, but I'd rather you got us a win, and we're a bit of a dick on camera.
Who's next?
Kansas City.
Oh.
Yeah, Chiefs, so divisional game as well. Could have done without that, really. But to be honest, they're not playing great, are they? So
we played them obviously the week before, and listen, they are not good. I don't know what's happened, but they are not good. And I watched most of the game last night against the Packers, and the only reason the Packers lost that is because they had that joke at quarterback. You know, what was it, 14-7 in the end of the game finish? Or 14?
13-7, I think.
It was one score and all that, wasn't it?
Yeah, 13-7, yeah.
Honestly, they were poor. And like Josh Davis, he's like tearing his hair out at Mahomes, which is crazy to think, because obviously he's been the Lord and Savior for God knows how long. But it seems to be, from what he's saying, like Chiefs Twitter and Chiefs social media, they're just showing film tape where he's just missing easy reads constantly. And he's trying to extend the plays and look for that deep ball. I think they showed on yesterday like his quarterback rating last year on over 20-yard plays versus this year. And I think he was like 120 and he's now 40 or something like that. It was really, really bad. What's happening, and yeah, the Chiefs are, and no one's really saying what it is other than Mahomes. A lot of them are saying that like Mahomes is at fault for a lot of this. They ran the ball all over us, and obviously Andy Reid's not a running coach, but they ran the ball over us. But then they seemed to abandon it at some point, and they weren't using that much against Packers. So don't really know. But it'll be an interesting game for you, especially with you coming off that loss and you having the bye week sort of curse.
Yes, it's the late game on Sunday.
Yeah, might even stay up.
I can't wait to stay up for it and then be dead pissed off on Monday. I'm dead tired as well.
Yeah. Look, I mean, Gary's nailed it there. That is really true. Like any other 30, they would have beat the Packers last night 100%. Like they were so bad. I think even we would have. Maybe not the Lions.
Us three.
Yeah. Maybe the other 29. And then, like say, half the league would have beaten the Chiefs. Because when did the Chiefs only put up 13 points? So yeah, it's weird. I mean, Kelsey had a stinker against us. Forced fumble. I think he had one or two catches. No real yardage. But they, like I said, they ran all over us. I think they had some kid Gore or something. He wasn't related to Frank Gore. And he was just running for fun, just pounding the ball on us. Like we were awful. And it just got away from it, which is weird. You've got to adapt. And I think that's going back to the Giants. You know, early few weeks, I was really slagging Patrick Graham off, saying like, you know, he's changed his man coverage and he's really not working. He's adapted his game straight through and gone, right, okay. Brought Darnay Holmes back in, changed it. Adoree Jackson is a lockdown corner for me. And Bradbury is now back. You know, he was the one that was given the responsibility of Waller yesterday, and he blew coverage. Well, he wasn't even a blown coverage. Waller just beat him for that what should have been a TD. He was still travelling with him, but he'd got the separation and he was in the end zone. But other than that, he played well. My only fault on Jackson is he's got terrible hands. Like, this is no exaggeration. Adoree Jackson probably should have had 5, maybe 6 picks this season. Should have had one yesterday. Straight through his hands. they are. You know, when you can say like, "Oh, that's a contested catch." These are catches. Like there's the one at the Falcons game that he's literally in his hands, and he catches it and he just drops it. Like that's the only thing. And I think someone said, I don't have much knowledge, but I think someone said like cornerbacks normally are wide receivers that can't catch. I think that's clearly the case for Adoree Jackson. But I can't complain because other than that, he's doing his job and he's playing really well. So we're in a strong position defensively. And I just fucking wish like we had the offense like we had against the Saints. Like if we had the defense we have now and the offense that we had against the Saints in that 1 week, when we did have all the weapons, don't get me wrong, and we had Andrew Thomas, but we had good play calling. Like Garrett, like called a good game. Since then, he's just been shite again. But if we had that, we'd have a chance. We'd have a chance at a wild card, but it's just going to be another one of those seasons. And like you say, I know it sounds stupid, but yesterday we actually affected our draft pick. I think it's only by like two picks, but it's still by 2 picks. And we'll probably, when you look at our schedule, yes, we've got the Bucks after bye week, which is a loss. But after that, there's 5 contestable games we've got that we could win. You've got 1 against Washington, 2 against Philly, 1 against the Dolphins, and you've still got the Cowboys that we normally compete in. So, we're only going to harm our draft pick more to not get a wild card, which is difficult.
Yeah. It's quite a somber mood, isn't it? Your one wasn't great.
We won and it was shit.
I know.
Normally, like if the Giants get a win, I'm absolutely buzzing because they come around maybe 4 times a season. But there's so many negatives out of it, which it's so fucking poor to have to sit here and actually slag the team off after a win. But it's not the team. It really isn't. It's not the personnel. Like Jordan, I was chatting to Jordan. Jordan said it like, yeah, our second string is not the best. But actually, if you look at our first string, like you've got a team that you'd expect to compete. Like DJ has shown this year that he's an adequate quarterback. That is what I'll say. I won't say he's better than that. I'm not saying he can't be better than that, but he's an adequate quarterback. He can do a job. And with the weapons that we've got, you've got Saquon Barkley, obviously absolute sick note, which is a nightmare. But ability-wise, unbelievable. Kenny Golladay, ability-wise, unbelievable. Tony's shown his ability, unbelievable. Sterling Shep, one of the best slots that's out there. We've got real quality, and our defense speaks for itself. But the coaching's fucking awful, mate. And Jordan nailed it. It was like you're not going to get anything with that coaching. You're really not. Fucking, it's just abysmal. Like I really worry because Mara just can't be trusted. Like there's talk, obviously, we're talking about sacking Gettleman, and it sounds like it's going to happen, which fingers crossed it does. But then there's also talk that he's then going to replace Louis Riddick, and it's like, fuck me, you're just moving from an absolute fossil to someone who's completely just fucking off the radar. Someone who, was so high on Haskins, which I know everyone has you'll always have the bad calls like Von Miller for Defensive Player of the Year, but he was adamant about Haskins, even to the point where he was questioning Haskins and Murray. It was like, do you take Haskins over Murray? And it's like, if you're that in on a quarterback that's shite, then there's real worry what we're gonna fucking get with him. So I don't know. Things aren't looking good. And Joe Judge has still got he's still got 3 years left on his contract. Will he sack him? Don't know. It's not a day contract, 5 a year compared to the 10 of Gruden, but
yeah,
he's not done enough to earn a 3rd year for me.
So talking to Gruden, I got this message before. The Raiders had 5 picks on day 1 and 2 of 2020 draft, and this is how it went. Henry Ruggs released, Damon Arnett released, Lynn Bowden Jr. traded, Brian Edwards still with us, Tanner Muse release.
Mental, isn't it?
The only positives from the whole Gruden issue is that I think Mike Mayock might have full control over the draft picks next year. And you can tell which ones have been his. He's more of a, from what I've been listening to Mark and others in the Raiders chat, it seems that Gruden was having control over the first few rounds and Mayock was working his magic in the middle. Well, the middle's worked. We've got Hunter Renfrow, we've got Max Crosby, we've got Nate Hobbs this year in the mid-round. So Yeah, you're not going to land on every single pick. Nobody ever does. So I don't mind, missing every now and then. But we've missed on so fucking many under Gruden.
Yeah.
The Khalil Mack trade has turned into Josh Jacobs, who is becoming a signal. As much as I love him and as much as I think he's a great running back, if you can't get him on the field for 17 games a season, what's the point?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Mark's sort of saying that he doesn't think Jacobs will get a new contract. I think he probably will. But we'll see. We'll see. The jury's out on that.
It's not his. Is it only his third year?
Yeah.
So you've still got another year and then an optional on top, haven't you? Before you've got to.
Yeah. Just I'm a fan of Jacobs. I'll make no bones about it. But not having him on the he got injured yesterday, didn't he? So
yeah, mate. Do you know what? Right, yesterday I thought, here we go. Of course, like I had for some reason I had a cheeky punt. I don't even know why because it was never coming in. But I went on the game and I'd seen you have your odds boosted, and it was like 50-1 special. Jacobs and Booker for 100 yards, rushing each. So I was like, I'll just stick a tenner on it, fuck it. And then first quarter they both had like over 30, and I was like, right, this is a running game here. Like we're talking about this is on. And then by the end of the second half, I think Booker had over 60. I think he's like 66, and Jacobs was he was like high 50s, and I was like, okay, still on it, yeah. Like, this is going on. And then I think because we've got another pick, basically by the time that had happened, Jacobs was on 76. And then the ball turned over, and then Booker came out and he got to 102. And then I'd seen that they'd announced that obviously he tweaked his ankle, Jacobs. So it's like, fuck's sakes. And Kenyon Drake come in and got over 30 yards on that drive. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? But then thankfully the gods shone. And for some reason, we decided to bring Booker back in on our next drive, and he got a 3-yard loss. So he finished on 99 yards. So I was like, oh my God. And then they took him out and brought Penny in for the rest of the game. Then I was like, oh my God, thank God for that.
Imagine.
Yeah, because I'd have been like,
Well, could you imagine if actually he got over those 100 yards and then he had that loss of 3 and that would have fucked you over even more? That would have been worse for your own play.
When I think they brought Kenyon Drake back in, and then he suffered a bit of an injury. I think he got winded, and they brought Jacobs back in, and I was like, please don't, please do not just burst for a 40-yard run or something now. Because at that point we'd taken Booker out and we were playing Penny, and I was like, it's just going to be a yard. But yeah, thankfully, it didn't come in.
I wonder if they'd have paid out on him actually. What if they'd have both been over 100 during the game? If you could have cashed out maybe.
Yeah, the thing with Sky Bet is sneaky, right, with NFL, because they don't ever offer cash outs. And they don't do many in-play odds, Sky Bet. So I know that they wouldn't have settled that bet until the end of the match. And then they would have been like, well, no, he finished on 99. But yeah, thankfully, it shone the right way.
So that takes us on to the Bucks last game, Jamie. So
yeah, it was bye week. We loved it. It was great. I mean,
I didn't say the weekend. I said the last game.
I mean, I don't want to talk about football either because Liverpool lost to West Ham anyway. So I don't know which one is the worst one here. The best part is I already, when we were talking about, obviously it was divisional rivals, Saints versus the Buccaneers. And I hate, how much I hate the Saints. You know how much I hate Sean Payton. Like, I despise the man. Like, just want to punch him. I'm pretty sure I said this last year. But, and it's one of those things, well, I'm not that mad at it. Fair enough. Last year, the Bucks lost 4 regular season games, possibly even more. But in my head, I can only think of the Bears, the Rams, and both games to the Saints. We lost them. We've already lost to the Rams. We beat the Bears. We've lost 1 game to the Saints. So we're on 6 for 2 at the moment, aren't we? So better than last year. First time in franchise history we went 6-1. But who knows? Like, hopefully we go ahead and beat them at our own ground. Brady can beat the Saints in the regular season because, again, last season it was the first time he's ever been beaten by the same team twice in a season. So who knows? I came into it saying best case scenario, is Winston has a great game, and we still win the game. Turns out as a worst case scenario in the fact that the Saints win and Jameis Winston goes out injured. Literally the worst case scenario you could possibly think of. Winston goes out injured after throwing a touchdown, and then fucking. I thought they got rid of like Siemens mobiles. Are they called Siemens? What are they called?
Yeah.
Remember those phones, those Siemens? Now, this guy just randomly comes in, Simeon, and just basically does bits.
Balls
and for
out.
some reason, the worst part is this is twice it's happened now. Luckily, last year in the playoff in the wild card, Heineke came in and absolutely threw bits and was absolutely incredible. And we just make them look like world beaters. And then obviously they go on to the next games, and obviously Heineke hasn't been as good as what he was in the wildcard game. Still doing pretty good considering he's come from kind of a unconventional route through. Was it the XFL?
Yes.
Or Canada Football League?
Yeah, I think it was one of them, wasn't it?
So yeah, and then obviously Simeon, who knows, has obviously come in and did the job against us, and Brady was throwing picks like prime Winston. He loved it.
Seems to be like the season of backup QBs, though, doesn't it, this year? Like, a lot have come on. I mean, last week was just crazy, wasn't it? But a lot have come on and done really well.
What I didn't think, we've got Mariota, who was a number 1 draft pick, I think.
He had a really good third down, didn't he?
He sat there doing nothing. Why not? Carr's clearly not at the races. Put Mariota in. What's the worst that can happen? We still lose the game.
Yeah. He came in for a third down play, didn't he? And got it.
Yeah.
Mariota. If it's the season of backup QBs, maybe it is time for the Trask.
But isn't he the backup's backup?
He's the backup's backup. Yeah, we don't want Blaine Gabbert. But I mean, to be fair, if you had the choice to go for Blaine Gabbert or a rookie QB in Kyle Trask, let's go for Trask. Why Blaine Gabbert? Don't understand it whatsoever. But you know. Maybe because they're saving him for next season. I don't know.
Who have you got this week?
Washington.
You got back-to-back East opponents.
Yeah, Washington, and then everybody's favourite Monday night football game, because it's every Monday night football game for some reason. It's never on any other night.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
It is the Buccaneers and the Giants next week. So Tom gets another head-to-head that he gets to discuss. But the good thing is we get to actually talk about it on the Monday night before the episode. Then we have to wait a week, for one of us to actually have to talk about it. But as
like
Phil says, the Giants.
Obviously, it's another week. It's our third win of the season. And each time, I have not been on the pod the week before. So because it's our bye week this week, I'm announcer menging next week. I'm not going to come on the pod in the hope that we then beat the Bucks. Keep up the tradition.
See, and Gary says, give Trask a chance. Phil says, fuck the Giants. There you go. Sorry for the F-bomb.
So
right,
salty. I texted him as soon as the Chargers won last night. Phil must have fallen asleep. Just text him saying, get the fucking Chargers. And I woke up this morning to a message saying, dick.
That game was really good, though, the Chargers-Eagles game.
Yeah, it was a good watch, to be fair.
Yeah. But like I said, I got to enjoy some of the football, not really having to worry about the Bucks going in and I got to enjoy a bit of the Giants-Raiders game, knowing it's going to be a fun episode tonight. I was surprised, though, Tom hasn't got his sparklers or anything out. I mean, it's bonfire night recently. I'm sure you bought some sparklers or fireworks or something. If you beat the Buccaneers next week, you're just going to set fireworks off in your house.
I mean,
I will.
If somehow we manage to get a win, I'm going to have to do something. Maybe
get your tits out.
I don't know.
Tits out for the Giants.
Yeah.
Didn't he say something about running down the street naked if something happened?
I mean,
I think it might have been if we beat the Chiefs, you know that. And you know what? We were fucking close.
I reckon if they beat the Eagles, he'll go full on pie mode. That happens every week.
Phil, you spelt when wrong.
Yeah, I was going to say, doesn't that usually happen?
No, to be fair, the Eagles have...
No, it was
and Hurts is better anyway.
It was the Dan Jones stumble, wasn't it, last year?
It was the Engram drop catch. Yeah, it
The
was
Engram drop.
I mean, did somebody say Eagles?
My computer's really, really slow. There you go.
Fly, Eagles fly, on our way to victory.
From the 12, Jones keeps, gets a block, takes off, and he is gone. Trying to stay upright, and he trips. Absolutely all alone, and he trips. Going to the end zone and ends up carrying it as it is for 80.
I don't think there'll ever be a time where
it froze on me.
It froze on you today.
Yeah, I only got Phil's song and then Dan Jones.
It just decided to crash.
Yeah. It's just a bit where like you see him going, he's like, you're like, oh shit, is he gonna go? Is he gonna go? And it's like, oh god, then he goes. Thank fuck we scored on that.
At least he kept hold of the ball.
Yeah. To be fair, we had a fumble this week.
Obviously.
Yeah. And do you know what? It was a bad one, to be fair. Like, how do you pronounce his name, Yannick? Fucking
Yannick Ngakoue.
Yeah. He beasted off Matt Pert, as you'd expect. And he got round to DJ, but he like pulled like the top of his arm. So for me, like, that doesn't warrant, like, it wasn't as he was going to throw the ball or anything. Like, he literally had the ball quite low in his hands and he pulled it off his arm and it just popped out. You know, that was poor. I'll sit here and defend him and stuff like that, but no, that's what you don't want to see. But his turnovers really haven't been anywhere near as bad as what they have been. They're still worse than a lot of QBs out there. So it still needs to improve, but he's improving year on year, especially with that, thank God. You take the Rams game out of the equation, which fuck me. That was a car crash.
I think we should talk about the Rams because what's it? Miller. They've got Von Miller, haven't they? And they're in the market for OBJ. They are going full. We need to win right now. Obviously, they brought in Stafford, who is doing all right, I guess. There's better quarterbacks out there.
Picks up, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be between them and the Bucks.
Yeah,
for the NFC. Maybe the Cards as well. I don't know. It's tough, isn't it? But the Rams are going at it. They're going for we want to win it and we want to win it now. A bit like the Bucks did last year, I suppose. So that'll be interesting. That'll be a great NFC Championship game. But then you've also got the Packers with Aaron Rodgers and the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, which are two very good teams still as well. So if those four get to the last four playoff games, the last four playoff teams from the NFC, that'll be probably as it should be, I reckon.
Yeah. Well, you had the Packers beat Cards, didn't they, last week? And then the Cards won this week without Murray and without Hopkins. Colt McCoy come in and did the business. He threw for nearly 300 yards. I'm sure it was like 296 yards he threw for. What a boy. But we all know, I think JP is the first to say how fucking bad San Fran have been. But I still thought it'd be... I mean, San Fran brought it back to a bit of a closer game in the end, or it started to, I think. But yeah, James Conner ran all over him. I say ran all over him, he did both, ran and received. So yeah, I don't know. I think the Cards are the real deal. I know we're all waiting for him to collapse, but they've only lost to the Packers, and I think that was a bit of a statement win yesterday.
I think so. I'm just looking now at the stats. Because I was working, I missed the Raiders game. I obviously got home as that finished and had a full-on Matt Dav sulk and just refused to watch it. So I'd recorded the F1, so I thought I'd watch that instead, and that was fucking shit.
It was.
I had a great Sunday night. I'm surprised I'm still alive today.
Should just go drown in the sea.
I'll end it all, me. Yeah, I should go and IMC ruin. I probably should have looked up at their scores before I came on. I saw the stats.
Who's your player of the week, Matt?
Derek Carr.
Don't have one. Do you know what? Damon Arnett. He's my player of the week for being such a fucking bellend that he's got himself sacked. So that's my special player of the week. Damon Arnett, you fucking pisshead. But for anyone who doesn't know, Damon Arnett was approached in his DMs by somebody who just said he just put "you suck," and he replied to them with a video with a gun saying, "I'll fucking kill you. I'll come and find you. I'll fucking kill you." And a load of other words which I won't say. And then he obviously somebody's person he sent that to is obviously screen recorded it and banged it on Twitter. And then the next thing you know, 2 days later he's been binned off, which is excellent. Something positive come from the week.
What goes through your head? Like, these players know that they're professional athletes for probably the biggest sport in the world. Like,
Yeah.
you can't get away with that stuff, especially when your teammates literally just killed someone like 2 days before. Like, fuck me. Like, you deserve to not have a career. It's as simple as that, don't you?
Yeah, and he's not going to now, is he?
Yeah, you make that mistake, you should rot in a hole. You know, there's that. We were looking at it before. I think it was sent around the group, wasn't it, before the draft? And it was it was on one of the colleges, and it was a big whiteboard, and it was like X amount of players start at high school football, you know, that then go into college football that they've won, that then go into the draft, that then get drafted, blah blah. And it was something like, I don't know, was it less than a 1% chance that you'd play in the NFL or something?
Yeah, it's tiny, isn't it?
And you've got players that are shit, but are still, you know, was it his second year last year at first team football? Was it his first year?
This is Arnett.
Yeah.
It's his third year.
Yeah, so last year he'd been playing 2 years in first string football, hadn't he? And it's like, you lucky bastard, and you've just gone and, what a fucking useless dickhead.
Yeah.
Great for the Raiders, obviously, because he was shite.
Yeah, he was taking the roster.
But, fuck me, I just don't get it, man. I do not get it.
It's what annoyed me. What I didn't like about the whole Ruggs thing was the guy was playing well. You know, he's starting to show some of that why he was picked 10th overall. And I didn't really want to go into it too much. But teams have a concierge service where they'll pick a player up in the city. The NFLPA has a 24-hour service where they'll send somebody to pick you up, and they will send somebody to also bring your car back from wherever you are in America. And he's drove his car pissed at 3:20 in the morning, whatever it was. And not only has he done that, he's drove it at 156 miles an hour through Las Vegas at 3:20
with his girlfriend in the passenger seat.
With his kid's mum in the passenger seat. And this guy is had an opportunity to be a Hall of Famer. You know, a lot was expected of him, but he was playing really well. And he makes a stupid fucking decision, which has cost somebody their life and has cost him his career. He's going to go to jail. I think the talk was he's looking at a potential 46-year maximum sentence, but they'll probably give him a quarter of that, 11 or 12 maybe, and he'll probably serve 5 or 6 and be out. His career's done. His NFL career's done. He'll never play football again, and he's probably got enough money. Talking about money, his bail was $150,000. Fucking hell, he probably earned that whilst he was in the cell. But just baffles my head. And I know a lot of young Premier League footballers are given a lot of advice now because of what's happened in the past. But you don't see many. I can't think of any top level Premier League footballer or even international footballer from anywhere that has gone on Twitter or Instagram and reacted like Arnett did. I also don't know of any top, in recent times anyway, footballers that have driven at 156 mile an hour pissed at 3 o'clock in the morning, as Gaz says, with a loaded illegal firearm in his car as well. another thing, why have an illegal firearm when you can go and fucking buy one legally from the shop and register it in America? I don't understand the mindset of a very talented young player like Henry Ruggs doing such a fucking stupid thing like that. And then sorry to keep talking to you, but then you think, how many other times has that happened where they've not crashed into someone, they've just driven home?
Yes.
We've only heard about it because he's crashed into a lady. He pushed the car 520 yards down the road after he hit it. And for anyone who hasn't seen it, if you're not into NFL, the car caught fire and the lady was trapped in it, and she basically burned alive, along with the dog who was in the car as well. He couldn't get either of them out. And there's a video clip of the car burning in the background, and Ruggs just sat on the floor crying. But it's your own fucking fault. Somebody's lost their life. Loads of families have been affected. I'm friends of that lady who's died because of your fucking stupid actions. Just really pisses me off. You know, we're obviously not in the public eye. Well, we are because millions watch the show, but we're not in the public eye like they are. And I wouldn't drive my car at 3:20 in the morning at 157 mile an hour with my girlfriend, my daughter's mum in the car, whilst pissed. I just with a gun in the back. I just wouldn't do it. And I don't know, man. It just pisses me off. I don't have the option to ring my employees to come pick me up or whatever.
No, I agree. And I don't know. I don't know if questions need to be asked of the NFL and the teams of what they're doing to, because, look, it's difficult to say, and I probably can't say one thing I want to say about it, but the people are surrounded by these kids come from the young college that have so many taggers on that probably influence them the wrong way, and you can have all the good character signs in the world when you're vetted for your draft, and there can be no red flags whatsoever. But if you're not looking at their crowd and the people that they're with, or they're not being educated on this, then I don't know. Questions need to be asked, because if I'm a team and I'm, look, Kadarius Toney, right, is one that for me is borderline probably that person. Like he's had some Twitter interactions that haven't gone down well. He's a rapper. He's got, and look, that's stereotypical, but when you're a rapper, they deal with guns and people like all that sort of stuff, don't you, in America? And if I'm the Giants, I'm using this Ruggs situation, and I'm sitting him down and going, listen, you've got it all in front of you. You're a top 20, draft pick. You've got this contract. You've got the ability. Don't fuck up. He tweeted about Ruggs and he went in on a load of people giving Ruggs shit, saying, he's made one mistake, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with that. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't have any empathy or sympathy. I don't even agree with the way Derek Carr's handled it. I think he's only got away with it because he's the God botherer. If he was a normal person, I think that's the wrong statement to say. No one should be saying Henry Ruggs needs love. No one should be saying that, because he needs every punishment that he gets, and he deserves it. It's not like someone's made a mistake, like, he's taken a wrong turn and there's a person walking out in the road and he's hit him. He's chose to get in a car pissed up. He's chose to have a loaded firearm, a legal firearm in the car. He's chose to drive at 156 miles an hour on what, frankly, from the videos that you see, is a really busy residential street. Like, regardless of what time it was at, there's going to be cars in there from the looks of it. And it was a recipe for disaster. That's probably, you drive at 156 miles an hour. I imagine the chances of you having an accident are probably over 50%. I have zero sympathy, and I would have no qualms with him getting the maximum sentence, because he needs to be made an example of. But I don't think these teams look at this. There's too many instances of, players getting in big trouble. The Premier League has players that get done for drunk driving, but fortunately, no injuries are out of it. They just stop pissed up after a party. Still not acceptable, but there's clearly a difference there. There's a lot of stuff that happens in America. And I know American crime is different than UK crime. I know there's gun laws out there, etc. But too many players do bad stuff. Something I don't know what.
The thing that I've struggled to get my head around with it being Ruggs was the fact that he dedicated his life and his career to his best mate who died in a car crash
5 years ago.
Yeah, there's videos of him talking about his best friend and how he dedicates his career and that he's going to be a star because he's dedicating that to his friend. And then he drives at 156 miles an hour pissed. I just don't. I can't. You lose your best friend in a car crash, irrespective of whether the driver who killed him was drunk or not. It's still a car crash. So, like you said, you driving at 156 mile an hour probably increases your chances of a crash by 50%. Add in the fact that you've been drinking alcohol as well. Add another 25% onto that because your reaction times are slower. You're not going to see something that you would see if you were completely sober. I just don't understand. It's awful what happened to the lady, and it's awful to what her family are going to have to go through. But I can't get my head around Ruggs' thought process of doing that. It really fucks me off. Yeah. And you mentioned rappers there. Darren Waller's also a rapper, by the way.
Yeah.
Who's got history.
But thankfully he's out of it, But
yes, yeah.
But if I'm the NFL or if I'm the Raiders, I'm hand holding him through everything. Mark will probably speak about that maybe on Thursday. In regards to the recovery aspect. But I'd imagine they've got, a sense of sort of obligation that they need to see him through that recovery because you don't just recover and that's it. You're in recovery for forever, aren't you? I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like you say, rappers, it's stereotypical, but it's true.
Well, it's funny you were saying about the Premier League because I was going from the Liverpool game when this happened and we were talking about it, and I didn't know this, but because you were saying it don't really happen in the Premier League, but in 2011, a Premier League footballer got drunk and crashed his car and killed somebody.
Marcus Alonso,
yeah.
Yeah,
like in Madrid.
He wasn't in the UK,
but yeah, Bolton Wanderers at the time. But like I said, I think it's a little bit different because it was only a single vehicle accident. He hit into a wall and killed his passenger. Whereas obviously Henry Ruggs has gone down a main road and killed somebody and another vehicle, which obviously no, not saying it's. I'm trying to think of the right word. It's like it's her choice because she knew he was drunk and she got in the car with him. Yeah. It's technically her fault, like no against her.
Put herself in that position,
but this woman has obviously been driving home probably after work. I don't know who she was, but could have been a nurse. You don't know what she could have been working at that time. And then obviously to have an American footballer player twice over the limit, like I said, going that speed and having passengers as well in the car, like you said, is his partner. It's just. Yeah, it's not nice.
In the Raiders group chat, a couple of the lads were saying they had a bit of sympathy towards Ruggs or perhaps empathy, and I just said I fucking don't. No. I don't. He's been given an opportunity that, like you said, less than 1% of kids in America will get to earn millions and millions of dollars, to be a hero at a team, to potentially win stuff in your career and go into the Hall of Fame, and he chose to throw all that away. By being a dick. I've got no sympathy or empathy whatsoever.
Take that out of the situation. If a normal person done it, I've got zero empathy for them.
Yeah, well, it's funny actually. There's a few things that circulate. I'm sure you've seen on Twitter and the like, where other people have done similar stuff and with similar consequences and have avoided jail. One being a rich white kid. So I know the laws are different in different states in America, and I don't know where this rich white kid was living at the time, but it's interesting to see that. Will he get the same treatment?
Yeah.
Probably not. Should he?
Bowles was saying something about Nevada. You can't plead guilty to a DUI. I think it's like a DUI death. I don't think you can actually put a plea appeal in or get your sentence reduced by a plea or something like that. So that's very interesting to see how that goes because, I think, is it something like if they put a plea in, it gets reduced to 25% or something? The fact that, he can't do that in Nevada, look, this is going to go on for ages, isn't it? And it's, there you go, you can't plead it down from killing someone. So it's going to be interesting.
So that's... It's a minimum sentence of 2 years, max of 20, isn't it? I think for that incident. What Mark was saying yesterday as well, I think I can't remember which. There's so many group chats I've got to the NFL, but a lot of Americans. I don't know American law at all, but the sentences are often run concurrently, whereas they're looking at running rugs is one after the other. So he might get 3 sentences of 10, 5, and 10. They normally run together at the same time, so he would have served 10, but they're looking at running his 10. For example, 10 fight would be 25,
Right.
which they don't. I don't know the US justice system at all, so I don't know.
I think
That's interesting if that is the case, and it would normally be 3 sentences covered over 10 years, and instead of the 25. Interesting to see what
I think, like you said, with the money and his stature of who he is as a famous athlete, he's probably, like you said earlier, he's probably going to do 3-4 years of that and get out with good behaviour, and then be on parole for another 2 years or something like that. So
he'll probably end up in the XFL, won't he? Gridiron Gang.
End up on Celebrity Big Brother, you'll love it.
Yeah, fucking hell.
Come on, Tom. I mean, we've been speaking about books. Who's yours? Like, let's go to nice stuff. Tom, who did you like this week?
Look, mine's James Conner. 3 TDs, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. I think he was just short of 100 yards rushing, and I think he was 70 yards receiving. There's a running back that was released by Pittsburgh. I know he's in a running back by committee, but he is officially their second running back. Chase Edmonds was injured. I think he did really well. And I'd sit here and I could try and say McKinney for the Giants. He was essentially, 2 picks and a pick 6, which is great. But we get away from the bias, and when someone's scoring 3 TDs as essentially a backup, he deserved it for me.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go slightly earlier and go for the Thursday night game. And I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor for the Colts. I know it was against the Jets, but 172 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah. He had an absolutely unreal game. I can't remember who it is that I was playing in fantasy football, but they had him. I was like, for Jesus Christ, 40-odd points. It was absolutely ridiculous. The only other person I probably would give a shout, it would be Ngwangu. I can't even say that. Did I even say that right? He did a 99-yard kickoff return to start the second half for the Vikings, like 99 yard against that was a really good game, that Vikings and Baltimore game. Obviously went into overtime. But you thought the Vikings would have done it, and then Lamar just decided to just turn up and was absolutely unreal in that second half. I think, like I said, 14 points they got in the fourth quarter just to obviously turn the game around. But coming out of the second half and getting that touchdown for the Vikings, 99-yard kickoff return, start the second half. What more do you want?
I think I touched on my player of the week before, but it's still going to be Damon Arnett for being that of a fucking whopper to get himself sacked. I've just literally been tagged in something in Reddit, and it says, this is from Ian Rappaport, that there were troubling off-the-field signs everywhere for Damon Arnett. In his first year in the NFL, Arnett crashed 4 rental cars within roughly a month. What a fucking prick. Oh dear me. Arnett, if you're watching the show, come and kill me, please. I beg.
Chris has put a good comment there. That was an odd game. 9-6 the Jags. It was just outrageous. But yeah, what was the stat? So,
how can any Lions fan call out any other team or player in the NFL?
So Josh Allen, the linebacker, sacked Josh Allen, the QB. He got an interception from Josh Allen, the QB, and then a fumble recovery from Josh Allen, the QB.
The trifecta. There's only one Josh Allen. I love the fact that he literally just went around and just started doing that.
Yeah.
They
were saying it's the first time since the NFL have been recording sacks that a player with the same name has sacked the QB. Just funky little stats like that I love. But yeah, well done, Jags. Fucking hell.
It was a bizarre weekend of results.
What was the Falcons beat the Saints? Jags
beat that was my God, by the way. That game, I was literally fucking hell, because the Falcons went on and scored, then the Saints went down and scored with like a minute left. I'm like, for God's sake, Saints have done it. They're going to go top of the NFC South. And then Falcons went down, and my boy, Young Shu Q, Did it for the boys. Love him. Fucking love Q.
It was the Broncos. Was it 27-0? They beat the Cowboys. Every team in the AFC West has a positive win-loss ratio.
Who's the
If
thingy
that's the
though?
only division, but it is.
I think maybe the NFC South, because I think Falcons and Panthers are 4-4. Maybe Panthers have gone down now.
It's not a winning ratio, then, is it?
Yeah, I guess. None of them are losing.
I hope you're not teaching maths to these kids.
I do English. We're all right. I do England. We're okay.
Actually, the AFC North, they're all winning as well. Bengals, Browns, both 5. Bengals are bottom of the division now. Bengals and Browns are 5-4. Steelers are 4-3, and the Ravens are 6-2. So there's 2 divisions that have no losing records, and then we go over to the NFC. Yeah, the Panthers are 4-5. Yeah, 2 divisions. I remember I said the NFC was stronger than the AFC, didn't I, recently? But maybe.
I think in regards to records, I think, like you said, you've got Packers who are 6-2, Bucks are 6-2, Saints are 5-3,
Cowboys 6-3,
Cowboys 6-2.
6-2,
6-2 because he lost, and then obviously, like I said, Bucks are 6-2, Cardinals are 7-1. Rams are 6-2, I think.
Yeah, but
the records there.
The NFC has the Lions, so
that is true.
I feel for Ben, mate. I'm Chris, obviously, but they're even mean during bye week, which is just harsh. It's like
they're not even playing.
I love the fact that they still lost to a field goal as well, just to make it even sweeter.
I think Ben put it early on, didn't he? He said the Lions are 0-9 after losing to the bye.
Yeah. It's just tough. They've got to get a win somewhere. I don't know. They can't.
Yeah.
The first of the 17 games, they can't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
No, don't do it. I mean, let's have a quick look at it now. Let's have a quick look.
Don't do it. No.
So let's go through the Lions now. Okay, Steelers. Are they going to beat the Steelers?
No.
Are they going to beat the Cleveland Browns?
No.
The Chicago Bears?
There's potential there.
Yeah.
Minnesota Vikings?
No, but it's divisional.
Minnesota Vikings are like one of the best 3-5 teams. It's ridiculous that they have had so many great games and somehow just lost them towards the end. The Broncos?
No.
The Cardinals?
No.
The Falcons?
Possibly. Yeah. No.
Seahawks?
No.
Packers?
Maybe the Seahawks. The Seahawks are shite. Let's have this out here. The Seahawks are shite. And I hope Jordan's watching because I'm really fucking enjoying
Russell Wilson's going to be here in January, though, surely.
Jordan's not watching because if you notice, Jordan does everything on +1. Like he'll reply to a text an hour later. So Jordan will watch this tomorrow.
But look, they are struggling without Russ, but they were struggling with Russ. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
Was the last game the Packers, did you say then, Jamie?
Yeah, it is.
So the Packers might have already won that division.
Yeah.
And may potentially, if they're depends whether they're in.
Would you want to? Would you just want to embarrass the Lions just by annihilating them to make sure they go?
Depends where they are in terms of the seeding, because if there's a chance that they can miss that first game, I think they try and win it. Miss the wildcard round.
Yeah,
I think they try and win it.
They can get the
but if they're definitely going to be in the wildcard round, then I think they'll rest players. They wouldn't.
And look, if they put Love in at quarterback, the Lions have definitely got a chance. But Ben's putting there that Packers won't take it easy on us. He's had this for years, so he'll know if they're not of that mentality. The fact that Rodgers loves to shout like "I own you" and stuff to the Bears makes me think that he'll probably want to play because he clearly got it in for his divisional rivals.
But yeah, I mean the Bears have been good of recent years, haven't they? You can't say
Yeah.
the same for Lions. So
Can we also? I know we're obviously going to wrap up in a second because we've been on an hour, but can we all now agree that Aaron Rodgers is a cunt?
No.
Nah,
Dickheads, anti-vaccine wankers, lot of yous.
I'm vaccinated.
Yeah,
You didn't even want
he
it.
said he was immunised as well. Show me your passport.
I'm vaccinated because of you. He told me how to blag my way in.
He's a fucking prick, an absolute prick. Cock.
Well, there you go. I mean, as we do run down then, and we're talking about pricks, what are you drinking? Or what did you drink? 'Cause I'm sure it's gone now.
I've not even got. I went all in. Didn't even have a Raiders glass for the fucking the theatre of not doing an NFL podcast. What did I drink? I drank Iron Brew. Yeah, there you go.
Iron Brew. Robinsons are back.
Piss.
Yummy. And I was on Dr. Pepper. There you go.
Oh, not on Professor
This
Peppy.
is probably the first episode that's all been a soft drink.
I know.
What
You
a
normally
record.
put us up, Matt, if one of us is on a soft drink.
I know. But I was running late, wasn't I? So
Yeah, we've had a couple of weeks where we've scheduling issues have been a bit bad and stuff. So apologise for people. We've had people texting saying like, "Where's the pod?" and stuff like that. So thanks, guys. For
Where are you?
It was only Gary who texted.
Yeah, we're trying to get it sorted where we're back on schedule. And if we can't make it for one reason or other, we're trying to actually get it later in the week, and we will let you know about it. But I think we're on for a full attack this week. We've obviously had this one, got the overtime guys on Thursday, and then Saturday it's going to be me and Jordan as Marty's away.
That is well worth tuning in for. Not for the content, just for Tom and Jordan to go toe to toe and hate each other like they claim to do.
Listen, you're going to be shocked because there's going to be unbelievable chemistry there. Like, it's going to be the best ever episode
It's
of all
literally-
time.
This is going to be like Monday night. It's going to be Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher, just content for days.
What, accents all over.
This is my chance to try and get some fantasy revenge after that first week call out.
Speaking of, I was going to call somebody out, but I didn't want to risk it. So there is a game at this moment in time where it all comes down to the defense of Pittsburgh. And it is against Bones, I believe.
Ooh.
Is he Dingo Ain't My Baby? He is, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. God knows why, but there you go. So he has Clay Chasepool, and he also has
Clay Chasepool.
Yeah. He has Chase Claypool, Jesus, all right, and Cameron Hayward. Both play tonight, and he needs 26 points to win.
You know, on the sleeper app.
That is true, Ben. Like we're not going to talk about that. So, but carry on.
You know, on the sleeper app,
yeah,
where it has your points and then it has a point underneath it. What's that?
Yes, that's your projected score.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not the max you can get. It's just what we think you'll get based, right?
Yeah, so technically, like, you could easily go over that. So, say, for example, Jonathan Taylor was projected at 15 points, but he got 40. So, obviously, he went like 30 over that.
25. Maths ain't a good point.
Yeah. Pardon?
Just slating your maths again.
He needs about 20. He needs about 26 points to win. If he gets 25, I win by 50 points. 0.50. That's right.
Is that about the Jonathan Taylor one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously. I just meant like, you know what I mean. But
if you are a young student in the Blackpool and Fylde area and you are thinking of studying further maths at college, I'd probably avoid Jamie's classes.
I'd be quite scared if there was a class taught that maths by me. I teach England, all right?
Good England.
Also, if you're looking for any barber courses, don't go to Jamie either.
I was talking about my hair.
Hang on, Tom.
I can talk about it now.
You beat me to it.
What?
You're going
Tom
back to
can
your
talk
Marv
about.
stage.
Going
Yeah.
back to my Marv.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's great,
Christmas,
isn't
isn't it? You'll be doing appearances at Comic Cons.
Christmas
The hell's
Day's on
that?
Saturday.
That was my Apple Watch.
Yes, obviously I'm going to another Comic Con next week, so I need to get ready for Marv. So I'm cosplaying as Marv.
Cosplay.
Do you have any final Anoukmings?
Fuck you, Bones. I know. Can I say it just so I can get played on Thursday night? There is no way Chase Claypool or Chase Claypool will get those points. So I'm gonna beat you and go 7-2 in the league. Who would have thought in my first time? Oh, I also the best thing is sorry again because I know another fantasy one just for bants. Me and Chris had probably one of the lowest scoring matchups of all time, and I didn't realise I didn't have a kicker, so I brought in Matt Gay before the game kicked off, and I just beat him. Sorry, Chris, if you saw. Matt Gay did it for the boys. Matt, anything else from you?
No, nothing at all. I had an absolutely wonderful weekend of sport. With Blackpool getting done over by the refs on Saturday, the Raiders getting done over by themselves on Sunday, the Grand Prix being absolutely fucking terrible. I'm probably just going to hang myself after this episode.
And what about Finger? Jesus Christ on a bike. But at least on the bright side. Oh no, wait, the Rockets lost as well.
Cool play, Chase. They did, yeah. Well, out on facts. Yeah, I
And the
nearly
Knicks
didn't
lost.
put this hat on.
Tom?
Aaron Rodgers is a cunt. And I hope he catch COVID and dies.
Oh.
Well, shit. And on that note, goodbye.